Hello and welcome to For Science. I was one of the lucky few to gain access to a preview build of this KSP2 update a week to 10 days before the actual release day, which is probably now if you're watching this. And that experience has been a lot of fun. Myself and others were able to help play test and bug fix and just give our general thoughts, feedback, and concerns about the update and everything to the team, and I hope that that is actually really helpful to the developers. And if you are watching this the day that For Science releases, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm live on Twitch right now. I'm doing a 24-hour stream for the entire update because the developers have given us a tech tree, and I want to see just what it takes to complete the whole thing. This video, however, is the exact opposite of that because, as I mentioned, the developers have given us an entire tech tree. So how far can you get without unlocking anything at all? That is the question of the hour. That is what I intend to figure out by setting a new exploration game on normal difficulty, no new tech, and our agency name will be called Starting Parts Aerospace. All right, let's do it. Here in the shiny new mission control building, which I absolutely love. I played through a whole bunch of the missions, and I'm probably going to be playing through a whole bunch of the missions on stream, and let me tell you, they are fun. The humor and the story involved is just great. I'm not going to spoil anything in this video. Just if you have the game, just give it a try. It's I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Launch a rocket. The first mission everyone will get with this update is launching a rocket to 10 kilometers. And let's take a look at the parts that we have to do that. Everyone will get these parts at the start. A swivel, some fuel tanks, fins, very basic stuff. And let's face it, we can definitely get a lot further than 10 kilometers. With absolutely nothing in the tech tree unlocked, our challenge becomes both simpler and more difficult, or restricting, I should say. Simpler in the terms of we don't have to worry about wondering which capsule to choose because it's going to be the capsule, or what fuel tanks to use because it's going to be one of the fuel tanks, one of the two. So engines are a big source of choices when you're building vehicles in KSP. And we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about what engine we want on what stage because we'll just have the engine and the decoupler. It's a stacked decoupler, don't worry, we can make it a radial decoupler. I'll show you how, it's super easy. And then fins, which are maybe on the first stage, we won't need it anywhere else really. And the parachute probably won't be needed at all. We might not be bringing this Kerbal back. So this is the design we're going with for the lander stage. It's now colored green because it happens to be, December 19th, and Christmas is right around the corner, so might as well get a little festive with it, right? We'll land a Christmas tree wherever we end up in the solar system. This top stage does not have any batteries or power supply other than being able to turn the engine on and having that generate a little bit of electricity, which is a thing. And if we start running low on electric charge from using the reaction wheel on the capsule, we'll just turn the engine on a little bit. Easy. The whole thing has a dry mass of 4.20 tons, which was accidental, but I love it. A thrust to weight of a little bit over 1, a little bit under 1. It's around 1, essentially. 20 parts, total mass less than 20 tons. Now, what we need to do is build more stages underneath this. I might sort of gloss over how we design the next stages, apart from one thing, and that is how we make these stacked decouplers a radial decoupler. First of all, we're going to want a new color for each stage. So we're going to take blue as our color. So these decouplers, they have an arrow. And that arrow is representing what's going to fall away and what's going to stay attached, right? The bottom of the triangle here, that's going to stay attached. So we want this to detach. We simply put it there. And now that is ridiculous. It's clipping. It's going to blow something up when it decouples. But you have a funky little gizmo here, right? That lets you move this And if you were to put it somewhere, we'll just put it in the air here. That is now a radial decoupler. Check this out. We add fuel, right? And we also flip this over. Just like so. And you legitimately have a radial decoupler that you can sort of position anywhere you want as long as you have a node to attach things to, which is why these 4 tanks here are actually radially attached. They have a node on the top and the bottom that can be used. Look at this. There's a node right there. So this will give us options for attaching more stages. And we'll utilize that and see what we can come up with. Okay, I believe this is the design we're going to be using for the stage 2, for blue stage. Now, originally I had the engines way up at the top because I was a little bit worried about the flexibility because, you know, KSP2 is known to have wobbly rockets. Well, this update fixes the wobbly rocket problem. So originally I was going to have the engines up here, so I was pulling the noodle tanks behind us instead of trying to push the noodle tanks in front of us, right? Well, the tanks aren't noodly anymore with the enhanced joint system. So I can build something more sensible with the engines at the bottom, like, you know, rockets usually have. We still have some wacky things here because I wanted to fit the actual tanks inside of, well, the Christmas tree. And we have one out sideways connected to our radial stack decoupler. And we might attach the 3rd stage to this or use some of the nodes for this, I'm not sure. But this is blue stage, so let's go ahead and make the next one. And I think we'll make this one red. And this is what we've got for stage red. This is now a total of 12 engines down here on the, I believe this is going to be our 2nd stage. And definitely going to be an atmospheric stage of sorts, maybe upper atmosphere, or maybe most of the way to orbit, I don't know. Radial attachment here and a stack attachment there. And I tested it just to see if it wobbled on the launch pad, and it didn't. It still didn't, guys. This thing looks like it should wobble like crazy, and the fact that it doesn't, you're in good hands, right? You're in good hands when it comes to actually building your vessels, because, oh my lord. Now let's build a 1st stage. This one is going to be silver. You didn't know you can set the opacity all the way down, and it makes shiny silver parts. So I think this is going to be a shorter, stubby stage with... let's see, maybe 16 engines, maybe more. Oh, goodness. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, 16 swivels on the bottom here, we have our 1st stage. Now, we could theoretically expand this to a much larger, maybe 30 swivel engines on another stage at the bottom. And you could go even more and more, but for the sake of our purpose here, how far can you go with just the starting parts? If this doesn't completely disintegrate upon lifting off, right, I think this has the Delta V to go anywhere you could possibly want to go. But there's only one way to find out, right? There's only one way to find out, and that's by taking little old Jebediah Kerman, putting us on launch pad 4 so it's as far away as possible from our actual facilities. And hitting the little funny launch button here. And I honestly don't know if this is gonna be nice and stable or if it's going to be absolute hell, but let's find out. Oh, it's wobbling a little bit. But look at that. That's not noodly. That's not noodly. That's just wobbling back and forth a little bit because it's excited for liftoff, as am I. I'm gonna quick change the camera here. And I have a small comment to make about the camera before we lift off, and that is I don't really understand the camera modes. Celestial is the only one that isn't extremely fast, and as far as I'm aware, there's no like camera speed option in the settings. So the other ones are just too speedy. Celestial works, but enough about that. Oh, we don't even get a countdown. We're just going. I dubbed this vehicle the SS Christmas, and oh no, oh, it's wobbling. Oh no, that's not good. That's okay. It was stable, right? Oh dear. No, Jiminy Chrisman. No. Oh, heavens. Oh, good lord. Oh, for the sake of humanity. Oh, jeez. Jebediah. Are you okay in there, bud? He's got a smile on his face. Oh dear. Yeah, that was, I probably should have expected that, huh? Oh, this one's going the distance. My theoretical solution to our problem was having all of these radially attached to 4 in the middle that are attached to the blue stage, which goes all the way up to the green stage, while red stage is sort of attached on the side. Now that silver isn't trying to, you know, push red stage as well as blue stage, now it's just pushing blue stage, this might be a little bit more stable. But again, there's only one way to find out for sure. So, back to the launch pad. Well, this seems more stable, so let's find out. Oh, beautiful, we get a countdown. Let's get the water deluge, the sparkers. They counted this down because they think that this one's gonna work. That's why. And we're going up, and it doesn't look noodly. I'm gonna knock on wood though, but we might be good. Let's reset the camera here. It's rocking back and forth slightly, but I'm not seeing blue noodle yet. Oh yeah, we're good. Let's ride this thing all the way into orbit after I get a wonderful screenshot here. Just heroic music bursting through the clouds. And stage separation. We're on red stage. Red stages go. And it's not noodling. Oh, this is beautiful. This is fantastic. We are traveling a little bit to the north, so I'd like to correct that, but we can't do anything crazy. Oh, we are so going to space today, guys. Now, I have red separated into 2 different stages here. So we are going to be letting go of this outer stage a little bit before this inner stage. The outer stage will be in more atmosphere, and it's a little bit separated from blue stage, so hopefully we won't have a collision. The other stage is much closer to blue stage, so hopefully we can get out of the atmosphere and I can let go of that without it bonking into us, because that would be catastrophic. And we've completed our mission of getting to 10 kilometers. We've done it. Okay, we're about to separate part of red stage. Let's hit this button. I'm gonna kill the throttle, because that's gonna bump into something. Okay, we're clear. There was no separation torque there, because, you know, we're using stacked decouplers. But oh man, I'm glad that that didn't break anything. I was worried about that separation. And stage sep. I'm gonna kill the throttle, separates. Gonna hit that twice, it seems. Alright, we're gonna burst forward just a little bit. And yeah, that's clean separation. Let's hit that engine. Now, I actually need to take control of this because we are much too low in the atmosphere still. I didn't realize this, but we need to pitch up. Because if we go much faster while we're still 50-some kilometers in the atmosphere, we're gonna start to see overheating problems, because that's something we have to deal with in the game now. It's not just returning from orbit that will overheat your craft. If you aren't careful getting to orbit and you are going way too fast, too low, like I getting close to being, things might start burning up. So, gotta make sure you're in space before you try to reach orbital velocities. That's all I'm gonna say there. But I think we're okay. I don't think we have too many flammable parts. Parts that are illegal for us because there are other tech nodes like batteries, solar panels, antennas. They will be a little bit more prone to overheating. See, our time to apoapsis, we want to make sure that that stays a low number. So I'm actually going to pitch down here slightly so that we start getting closer to it. Okay, never mind. Hold on. I need to do the exact opposite of that. I need to pitch up. I couldn't tell. I couldn't read that number. This was meant to be a simple little orbit. Come on, get about 70. There you go. I have a complaint about the font. It's hard for me to read the numbers. Like, is that a 08? I couldn't tell you. Regardless, though, we have reached orbit of Kerbin, and what a beautiful sight it is. And we have 6,000 meters per second of delta V once here. Now, if we were to open a handy-dandy delta V chart for the Kerbal system, that number provided 6,000. Genuinely, you can go travel to and land at any celestial body in the game. Which leads me to my hypothesis that, well, I mean, this answers the question, really. You can go anywhere in the Kerbolar system without unlocking a single part. My work here for Starting Parts Aerospace has proved that. However, theories and practicalities are two different things, so of course we have to land, but where should we go? My absolute favorite celestial body in the Kerbolar system is Val. Just something about an icy moon it calls to me. I've always wondered about a subsurface ocean on the world, if that were possible, and what life might lie there, or horror might lie there underneath if we were to set up a facility and drill into the ice, right? There's something just hauntingly beautiful about a ice world that calls to me. So we're gonna set our target to Jewel, and we are going to go to Val. I can't time warp very quickly in low orbit of Kerbin, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go back to the tracking station. But an interesting thing is if I go directly there, the vessel is still technically loaded and we'll have the same time warp constraints. So we'll have to go back to the Kerbal Space Center and then hit tracking station. 2 clicks, however, this game loads so darn quick that it takes absolutely no time at all. Now, in order to get to Jewel, we have to wait for a launch window. Luckily for us, they happen constantly. And I'll show you a super simple way of knowing if you're at a launch window or not. What you want to do is you want to draw a straight line, imaginary, or maybe take a Sharpie and draw on your computer screen if that helps. Probably don't do that. Draw a straight line from Jewel to the Kerbal to Kerbin, and you want it to be a little bit bigger than a 90-degree angle. Kind of like this. This might be good, this might not be good. Just close to there is all you really need. And we're gonna go ahead and control our vehicle once again. Jewel's gravity well, its sphere of influence, is so massive that you can kind of just eyeball that. You can sort of do that with all of the planets, although it's a little bit more difficult with places like Dress, for instance. But I digress. This is our launch window for Jewel. We're gonna set it as our, I think I already did set it as our target. We set it as our target. So what we want to do is we want to go further away from the sun, from Kerbal, to get to Jewel. In order to do that, we'll make a maneuver that puts us on the Kerbin prograde vector. It speeds us up, makes us go faster. And we're going to drag this out to, I don't remember the actual number that it needs to be. We'll see what 1528 gives us, though. How far does that take us if we zoom out? Oh, a little bit more. Okay, so let's keep going. Maybe around 2,000? Yeah, around 2,000. And you can see our timing is a bit off. And I actually have a comment about how this all works, because I have a feeling that interacting with the game as I am right now might be frustrating for newer players, or any players really. A lot of the UI elements you can see here are sort of blocking us being able to use this gizmo. And if I try to move the maneuver, it's just, you can't. This is something that players are going to be interacting with constantly if they're going to be traveling anywhere in the Kerbolar system. And having that be a reliable interaction and simple interaction is absolutely essential. My solution, now I don't make code or anything like that, but my solution would be having maybe next to this circle gizmo, another gizmo that is specifically for manipulating this gizmo here. You don't have to worry about where it is on the actual map view. You don't even have to see it to actually adjust your maneuver, because this allows you to focus on the main screen, your trajectory in relation to everything that you're going to be encountering, like moons and stuff. And I don't have to worry about looking all the way over here and trying to click on what I need to figure out this maneuver if it's just on the bottom of my screen constantly. I think that is something that this game would benefit from greatly. You know, I'm not a developer. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with that, because it would have made this process like 5 times easier, I'd say. But regardless, we still got there. Pretty much no problem. Oh gosh, we're a little bit off. There we go. That shouldn't make too much of a difference, honestly. We are going to see some slight variation between our final trajectory and our planned trajectory, but it's nothing a few meters per second won't correct further down the line. Our gimbals are going a little bit crazy trying to control this. I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. I'm going to separate the stage, but I'm going to have to wait. So we can get clear of blue stage, because look, this one's still hanging on. Get out of here. I don't want to break anything from green stage. There we go. Now, we're still in celestial camera, but that's separation has sped my camera up again. Anyways, yeah, our trajectory is going to be a little bit off, but let this be an example that things don't have to be perfect for it to work out in the end anyway. Our trajectory is sending us much higher than I anticipated. We're gonna have to figure out how to fix that. It should be fine. The best place to fix it, honestly, is at our highest point in relation to Joule. So right around here, I'm thinking. Let's halt the warp. And create a maneuver. And we'll see what burning normal or anti-normal does here. Yep, look at that, 2 meters per second. It'll slow down a little bit. Yeah, see? As we're on our way to Joule, 2 meters per second is definitely something we can spare to adjust our inclination. This burn is going to be practically instantaneous. So, just gonna hit shift a little bit and, oh, there we go. We lined that up almost perfectly. Warp to maneuver. Oh, we're out of electric charge? Oh no, the SAS did us dirty. We can just hit our engine slightly. Like I have our engine throttle at 5 and we're getting a little bit more electric charge. I'm gonna keep our engine at 5 and we're basically burning through a little bit of fuel in the right direction to power our battery back up. See, we prepared for this. You don't need solar panels. There's no life support in the game yet. That would add a lot of complexity to the game. I think it would be a cool idea to have an even more complex game mode than exploration and have it be something akin to survival. Survival in multiple aspects, right? First of all, that sounds like it's a horror game, and that is just funny to me. Second of all, survival in the aspect of keeping your Kerbals alive with life support. And third of all, survival of the entire program by needing to balance funds and a budget. Development team, survival mode, next update. I'm just messing around, but that would be a lot of fun. Oh, we're barely missing lathe. We're gonna just brute force it. We're just gonna brute force this. You could definitely use other moons to adjust your inclination. But we're gonna burn for a few seconds and get ourselves a trajectory like this. So here we are, soaring. We're gonna be soaring past Val really darn quickly, I think. I am worried about our fuel levels. I don't know if we'll succeed. I was not very fuel efficient on our way here. I will be honest about that. I gotta go down. See, this sort of area looks more snowy. There's no atmosphere or rain or anything, so it's not really snow. But this looks more icy over here. I wonder, I actually don't remember if Val is tidally locked to Jewel. And if the icy part is always facing away, but I think Val has a rotation. We'll find out by time warping in orbit of it. And here we are. We don't have a whole lot of spare Delta V, but this should be enough to get us down relatively safely. Now it's just a matter of determining where we want to land. I'm actually gonna just time warp a little bit here to see if this rotates. It doesn't look like it is. I think that it's tidally locked. Well, let's rotate around and just discover what the sun reveals on the icy side. Let's try to land somewhere like right here. Right here. That looks like a good place to land to me. Oh my goodness. We're in the dark, right? No light from the sun whatsoever. Everything. I mean, I have a green spacecraft, so of course that's gonna look green. But look how green this looks. I think it's reflecting the light of Jewel. Look how shiny it is. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. Oh my goodness. I love Val so much. And the music. We're gonna start to slow down here. We're not far from the surface after all. Let's go full blast. Back to 17%. Now we're gonna take manual control. Find us a nice flat spot to land. So right on the other side of what these look like to be really spiky rocks. Let's not land on the spiky rocks. Let's land right around here. And touchdown. We've done it. We've made it to the surface of Val. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. We got Jewel in the background. I think I should have aimed a little bit closer so we get Jewel really hanging high in the sky. But regardless, that's Jewel. Now, of course, we must plant a flag. Let us deactivate the engine, just to be on the safe side. Quick save, just to be on the safe side. But I have the perfect spot in mind. Now, realistically, if you fly a little bit better than me, if you use more efficient maneuvers than me, you can land anywhere in the Kerbolar system with just the first tech node. I think I have proved that quite well. Now, of course, we have science that we can perform here. Yeah, gotta check that. Scoop the ice off of the top of the capsule there. Put her in there. And, of course, we have absolutely no communications with Kerbin. Sorry about that, Jeb. We have planted a Christmas tree on the ice world using nothing but the starting tech node and unlocking nothing else. Thank you, developers, for all your hard work on the tech tree and the mission control building. Turns out, you can get anywhere you want without it. Speaking of mission control, we could go back to the building and actually get our 25 science for launching our first vessel above 10 kilometers. But starting Parts Aerospace would be out of business if we did that, so of course we won't. I want to give a special thank you to Chris Gebert, Darth Malachor, Elliot Ewing, Guy Called Odin, and Mr. Blue Star, and everyone else on the Patreon for your continued support. I appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you're watching this video on the first day of For Science, I'm still live on Twitch doing a 24-hour stream, so please make fun of me for not being able to sleep. Send me caffeine. I'm going through it. I'm going through it right now. Thank you all once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.